This video is brought to you by my brand new course, iOS Development Using UIKit and Swift Project-Based Learning. I have always believed that the best way to learn something is to just start building something. And this course is all about building multiple projects. You'll be creating a project using MapKit, core data, and also integrating with a client-server application. So check out the pricing over here. The lifetime access, the normal price is $89, but until December 30th, you can get it for only $49. Here's the course syllabus. You can see that we'll be building a near me application, and we'll be building a budget application using core data, and also finally we'll be building a stored application where we can display categories and products associated with the categories, add new products, delete products, and so on. Now, this is a very, very practical course, and I'll be not using storyboards. It will all be done using code. So if you want to do UI programmatically, this course is for you. So check out the good reviews, check out the course, check out the great pricing, and I hope to see you in the course. In this section, you'll be learning about how to create a near-me application using UIKit. This application is going to allow you to search for a particular points of interest, and it's going to tell you the closest burger places, taco places, or wherever you're searching for close by to your current location. You can see that as soon as I search burgers, it's going to list me all the burgers in a nice list. But apart from that, you can also use the actual map and see all the different burger places. If I tap on any of these burger places, it actually pops up and selects that in my list so that I know that which burger place I'm selecting. I can also click on any of these places, meaning burger places, and get more information about them. If I'm running it on an iPhone or some sort of a device, I can call them, and I can also get the direction to those burger places ready in Apple Maps. So this is what we will be building in this section. So the first thing we need to do is to display map on the screen. If I run this application right now in my iPhone 14 Pro, you can see it simply displays a view, and that view is colored green. So how can we go about displaying a map view control so that all of our screen, the complete thing, is filled with the map view? In order to do that, the first thing we need to do is to import MapKit. The MapKit module, the MapKit package, the framework consists of the map view control that we can use. I'm going to go ahead and create the map view control as a lazy property. The reason that we're using a lazy property is that we don't really want to reinitialize map view control again and again. We just want to initialize it one time. So that is the reason that we're using lazy property, so that it can create the map view only once. We're going to go ahead and create the map, which is mkMapView. We will set the delegate later, so don't worry about that. We will also say that show user location. Well, if the location is present, then show them. Map.translates auto resizing mask to false, because we will be putting some constraints on it. And let's go ahead and also return it. Great. The next step that we need to do is to utilize this map view and display it on the screen. Inside the view.load, I'm going to go ahead and call the setup UI function, which by the way doesn't exist. So a good idea would be to create that function. The purpose of setup UI is, as the name suggests, to set up the user interface. We're going to go ahead and add as a subview the map view. So the map view is added to the main view. Great. Let's go ahead and run the application and see how it looks like. Currently, you can see that nothing is getting displayed. The reason nothing is getting displayed is that we still have to configure our constraints. So let's go ahead and add constraints to the map view. Currently, the map view doesn't really know how to display on the screen, so perhaps adding the constraints is going to provide us a little bit of a help, and also providing help to the map view so that it can configure itself to be displayed. We will talk about the width constraint. The width of the map view will be equal to the view width, so whatever the view that the controller is providing, kind of like the root view. And then the width of the map view will be the same as the width of the actual view. The same thing goes with the height. And we want to center the map view in the screen, meaning the view center would be the map view center, so we can use that one. And finally, we can do the center in the vertical. Let's go ahead and build it and try to run it now. And there we go. At least we can see the map getting displayed. Now you will see that it sometimes gives these kind of errors being displayed over here. I think these errors are just coming from the simulator. We'll try to see where they're coming from, but you will see that most of the time these errors are just coming from the simulator. All right. Let's go ahead and turn off this show you the location. Sometimes that can cause a problem because we haven't really, as you can see, it was the issue because we haven't really made sure that we can access your location. But even with few lines of code, we were able to display a map. You can do panning on the map, you can do zooming. If you want to zoom, you can zoom, and it looks pretty nice. The next thing we need to add is the search button. That will allow us to enter a point of interest like a coffee shop or a burger shop. So let's go ahead and do that in the next lecture. Now let's go ahead and see that how we can display a search text field that will allow us to search for points of interest like coffee, taco shops, burger shops, and so much more. Once again, we're going to go ahead and create a lazy property. I will call it search text field. We'll start with search text field. And it's a lazy property because we only wanted this code that I'm going to type to be executed once. All right. So let's go ahead and create a search text field. You can call it anything you want. UI text field. We are going to make sure that the radius, since it's a little bit more, let's say, curved in nature, so corner radius 10, we will also clip to bounds so that those things are clipped. We are also going to set that the background color of the text field will be white, and we will set some sort of a placeholder text like search. Now, when we create a text field, it will be important that you put a little bit of a padding on the left side. If you don't, then it will kind of look weird. So the padding, one of the ways to add a padding is to set up the left view. And you can see that we are simply creating a UI view and giving it a width of 10. So that will add a little bit of a padding, and it's not going to hit on the left side of the text field. The padding will be displayed always. We're also going to make sure that the translate auto resizing masking to constraint is set to false. We are going to set some constraints on it, and then we will return the text field. Now, even though we have created this text field, we haven't really used it yet. So let's go down over here into the setup UI, and we want to put the text field above the map view. So I'm just going to say add the subview and the search text field. Let's go ahead and run this. Even right now, we haven't really put any constraints on it. So you can see the text field is nowhere to be found. Let's go ahead and start putting some constraints on the text field. We have to give it some sort of a height. So let's go ahead and add constraints to search text field. We're going to give it some sort of a height like 44, but it's up to you, whatever height you want. The X center, meaning we want it to be placed in the center horizontally. We can also give a little bit of a width to the text field. You will see maybe like width of the screen divided by 1.2. And then we don't really want the text field to be vertically centered, but it will be kind of like on the top region. So that's why we are going to use the top anchor and add 60 to it. The keyboard button, instead of the return key, will say go, and we will also eventually set up the delegate to be self. So let's go ahead and run it. Now you can still see that the text field is not really displaying. So this becomes a little bit of an interesting issue, that why the text fields are not displaying. All right, so let's go ahead and try to find out what exactly is the issue. Now, one of the reasons of text field not being visualized with our eyes is that the text field might be behind the map view. All right, so we can go ahead and call view.bring subview to the front, and we will bring the text field to be on the front so that it's kind of like floating on top of the map. And there we go, we got our text field. And you can see that when I start my cursor, it's not starting from right over here. It's starting from a little bit of a gap over here, which is great. And this was done by when we were using, let's see over here, left view. So that's the important part. That is going to give you a little bit of a margin, and the margin that we are getting is like width of 10. So that is important for us because it will look really nice. So there you have it. We have created a text field, and other things that we need to do now after we are getting the text field is now we will be looking into requesting the permission so that we can get your exact location of the user, and then based on those location we can go ahead and probably offer them that, hey, these are the taco stores near you, these are the coffee stores near you, or whatever they're searching. So let's go ahead and get started on that.